So, life is basically a process of continuous learning. Every moment teaches you something. Every moment is a unique expression of the absolute truth of consciousness that we've been discussing. And as we have talked about, this infinite, perfect, boundless, indestructible absolute truth, through its hypnotic, illusory power of Maya, uh, imposes the limitation of the separate, limited body mind upon itself. And that is the root of desire because the restriction on perfection that has been imposed by the absolute upon itself leads to the desire to re-attain perfection. And that desire is the entire process of growth that we go through over time. So we are born knowing nothing, apparently knowing nothing, and then via a process of education and conditioning, we are led back into knowledge of what we have forgotten. Because I say forgotten because all information is already there in the absolute truth of consciousness, and the apparent ignorance is just forgetfulness of that boundless knowledge that is a property of consciousness. So, since we are re-attaining perfection, which is a continuous engagement with life, the only the only way to attain perfection is to be in a state of continuous involvement and engagement with life, and that implies a process of continuous learning because we have been cut off from the infinitude of information and knowledge that we have available to us. And in order to regain that infinite information and knowledge, we have to be in a state of continuous attention, intensity, and receptivity to new possibilities. And that is a state of continuous learning. So, as Bruce Lee said, you are in a state of continuous learning, and life itself is your teacher. So, the process of learning or growth never stops because truth is infinite. And the journey of the individual body mind begins essentially from zero. So it's a journey from zero to infinity through finitude, and a sequence of obstacles which are overcome and thereby lead to a successively increasing sequence of boundaries which we eventually seek to break entirely and re-attain the infinite. So life therefore is a state of continuous learning.